Okay, today's Monday, and it's the third day of recording myself talking to a camera for 30 days. So today's topic is going to be why I even landed here. How am I here making videos on YouTube? So it probably begins with university. So I went to college. I went to college for marine biology. When I was a kid, I encountered the ocean and scuba divers, and I thought that was the coolest shit ever. So I made it my life's mission to become a marine biologist and get paid to scuba dive, which, obviously is not what marine biology is about, although it can be a part of it. So yeah, from an early age, I told my parents, yeah, I want to become a marine biologist. So they put me in a swim team, turned into a 9-year swimming career, which I didn't plan for, but that was pretty cool. When I got to college, well, I was never super good at school. It was pretty boring and just learned a bunch of stuff I felt like I didn't really need to know. So, going into like a intense STEM major such as marine biology was difficult with all the chemistry, biology, memorizing 10 syllable Greek words and, the different parts of the jellyfish and all that. And I was like, this is unbelievable. There's no way I need to know this. So it was in this like calculus help tutorial or in this like workshop for people who are struggling with their calculus class. I was there trying to get my homework done, and the moment that I realized I didn't even know what question to ask, that was when I had an epiphany. I was like, okay, I need to do something else. And coincidentally, I had been taking this intro to philosophy course, and I actually really liked that. And I was like, okay, you know what? Philosophy is actually super cool. I'm going to do that. So I switched my major to philosophy, which was a lot more up my alley. That was easier for me, and that was also a lot more interesting and kind of answered some of the deeper leveled questions that, even science can't answer. So that was really fun. However, at the end of my college days, of course, I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm going to graduate and I'm going to have a degree in philosophy. So that's going to be super awesome. I'm going to be able to do absolutely nothing. So I figured, okay, I need to pair this with some kind of a hard skill. And at the time, my friend had just dropped out, and he was already in the crypto ecosystem, and he had basically just been talking to me about like blockchains, crypto, DAOs, NFTs, all of this stuff for like about a year. And that was always very interesting to me philosophically. And so I was like, okay, maybe there's, some kind of opportunity here, but not without any sort of hard technical background. So I told myself, okay, that's fine. I can like crypto and I can like all that stuff, all the blockchains, because it's really cool, but I need to actually work in the space and be familiar with how things work under the hood. So, like the actual code. And so that's when I needed to start my programming journey. So at this point, I think it's the last semester of my senior year, and I'm just doing normal web dev stuff. So I'm doing the Odin project, and I basically get to React. So once I know how to use React, then I start going into my the actual crypto space, building space. So I went to ETH Denver in 2022, and I was working on one of these Odin project assignments. I had to build like a library, and they had components, not like a component library, like a actual UI that looks like a library where these like book titles load in, and it just looks like an actual library. And so I was doing this project, and this guy walks up to me at ETH Denver, and he's like, "Hey, man, like, what are you doing? Who are you? What are you working on?" And I kind of just tell him my story, and he was like, "Oh my God, dude, like, I went down that same path." And I'm telling you right now, just based off of the project that you're doing, you are ready to move on. You're ready to go to the next level. Stop with the Web 2 stuff. You obviously have the basics down, and now you can go on to Web 3. And that was like a big epiphany for me because I was like, oh my God, someone who wasn't in my immediate friend circle was like, has like seeing what I'm doing is like validated the fact that like, yes, dude, you are indeed ready to move on to the next level. So I was like, awesome. So I dropped all the Web 2 stuff and then I started going into Web 3. So, what was my Web3 journey like? Well, I'm gonna make a video on it soon, but speedrun Ethereum and Scaffold ETH, that's where I started. I started with the speedrun Ethereum challenges and kind of just looked up what I needed to as I went on. So I was like, okay, a wallet, let's look into wallets. What is this? Okay, externally owned accounts, transactions are being sent here. Here's a staking dApp, right? I had to build a staking dApp for one of the challenges. There's a token vendor. So basically, speedrun Ethereum has you build projects that are needed within the Web3 space. And so I got some practice writing Solidity, and before long, I was just writing my own smart contracts. So I wrote like a block, paper, scissors. So there's like a decentralized rock, paper, scissors game, a communal debt manager. So there's a app in Europe called TriCount. You can look it up. It's very popular there, but it manages communal debts amongst groups of friends. I recreated that in a smart contract. And I also made a early version of like some chore managing app, which is it's basically a DAO where people join a certain DAO and then people can request to add a task. They're like, okay, I propose that, we have a washing dishes task, and this is like an NFT, and it gets passed around to all the different people, and when each person's done completing that task, they are evaluated by the other people in the DAO, and they're graded on, how well is the job done, how much time, like not super specific, but basically like give the task completion a grade, and then they hold more weight as a DAO member. And so at the beginning of every week or month or year, this part never really got finalized, but you put money in, and depending on how well if everyone performs well, everyone gets their money back. But when certain people start slacking, they might start losing a little bit of money here and there. So it's just a way to uh, basically make a communal living environment fair when it comes to cleanliness or whatever else you want to use it for. It's not just for that. Um, so that was one of the later apps I developed. I have a minute and 30 seconds left. And so I was like making my own apps, and then I heard about Substreams, which is part of the Graph ecosystem. They're built in Rust. It's for like data indexing. So I got into that. I was doing that for quite a while. And I was just bouncing around in different like Telegram, Discord chats, just trying to find work. And eventually, I started getting paid to contribute to Scaffold ETH. And just all these like small little things started paying me, and I realized, what I enjoy doing the most in this space is helping people move forward. And this basically fits the job description of a developer relations person. So it's like, oh, okay, you're new here to using this technology, or you're new to this protocol or whatever. Let me help you out. Let me get you situated, right? So I can write some nice docs for people, some nice challenges, some nice tutorials, some videos promoting things. This is what I really enjoy doing. And this is actually why I am here. So I've come full circle back to the point of this video, which is, why am I here on YouTube practicing talking to camera? Because this is what I want my future job to be. I want to make content. I want to explain things to people. I want to shill and promote stuff that I think is cool. I want to write, clear documentation. And this documentation and these tutorials are mainly motivated by the fact that I felt that when I was going through Web3 and learning the ropes, things were poorly documented and my life was a lot harder than it needed to be. I think that a lot of resources in this space are very STEM oriented, obviously because it's computers and, blockchains and code and logic. And I don't think there's a lot of humanities related stuff. So like, the humanities, right? Like college is split. You have like the humanities, like, writing, history, philosophy, all that stuff. Then you have like STEM, so science, medicine, biology, all that. So I think that turning the Web3 space from like very STEM and engineer oriented to adding humanities to it and making it more accessible to everyone, right? Because not everyone has like a STEM brain and can understand, uh, you know, complex code and stuff like that easily. It needs to be explained so that everyone can understand it. That is what I'm trying to add and do, with this YouTube channel and with where I'm taking my career in general. All right, 11 minutes and 30 seconds, but that is day 3. Thanks for watching.